All right, let's talk about a word you hear all the time. It powers just about everything we do online, but for a lot of us, it's still kind of fuzzy. So today, we're going to demystify the cloud.
So, to get started, let me ask you something. Think about your day-to-day. You check your email, right? You stream your favorite shows. You've probably got tons of photos saved somewhere online. What's the common thread there? What do all those things have in common?
Yep, you got it. It's the cloud. And no, it has nothing to do with those fluffy white things in the sky. Really, when you boil it all down, the cloud is just a service, a network that's running on a computer somewhere far away, a computer you can get to from anywhere. Or, to put it even more simply, it's someone else's computer that you're using.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at the 4 different flavors of the cloud. Then, the 3 main ways you can use it. After that, we'll get into the big benefits, why this all matters, and we'll wrap up by looking at the magic that makes it all work.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the cloud's 4 flavors. Now, the official term here is deployment models, but don't let that scare you. It's really just a simple way of answering 2 basic questions. Where is this thing, and who's allowed to use it?
And honestly, the best way to get this is with a simple analogy. First, you've got the public cloud. Think of it like a public park. Anyone can go, it's open to the general public. Then there's the private cloud. This is like your own private backyard, fenced off just for your organization. A community cloud is kind of like a shared community garden, not open to everyone, but a specific group of organizations can all use it. And finally, the hybrid cloud. This one's pretty straightforward. It's just a mix of public and private. It's like having your own backyard for the important stuff, but still being able to use the public park when you need to.
Okay, so that covers where the cloud is. Now for Section 2, let's talk about what you can actually get from it. What's on offer? This is where we get into what are called service models.
So you can think of these 3 models like they're stacked on top of each other. At the very bottom, the foundation, you have infrastructure as a service, or IaaS. This is the real nuts and bolts. You're basically renting the raw computing resources, storage, servers, networks, that kind of thing. Then, one level up, you've got platform as a service, or PaaS. This is like getting a fully equipped workshop. It gives developers all the tools and the environment they need to build their own stuff. And then at the very top of the pyramid is software as a service, SaaS. This is the one you're probably most familiar with. It's the finished product, the apps you use every day, right in your browser, like your email.
Okay, so we've covered the different types and the different services. But now we get to the really big question, the so what? Why does any of this matter? Why is the cloud such a huge deal for everyone?
Well, what really makes the cloud, comes down to 5 key things. These are the essential characteristics that define it.
Okay, let's run through them. First, there's on-demand self-service. That just means you can fire up computing power whenever you want without having to call somebody up. Then, broad network access. You can get your stuff from pretty much any device, anywhere. Resource pooling is a big one. It's how providers can use the same physical hardware to serve tons of different customers. Then you have rapid elasticity. This one is a game changer. It means you can scale up or scale down your resources almost instantly. And finally, measured service. You only pay for what you actually use. You put all 5 of those together, and you've got a system that's unbelievably flexible and efficient.
But beyond the tech speak, what does this actually mean for us? Well, the bottom line is that it makes our work both mobile and collaborative. It untethers us from a specific desk or a specific office. It means we can all access the same information and work together on it from literally anywhere on the planet. And that changes everything about how we get things done.
And yeah, let's be honest, a huge reason the cloud has taken over is money. It's just way more cost-effective. Think about it. Instead of a company buying a bunch of expensive servers that might just sit there doing nothing half the time, they can just pay for the exact computing power they need, right when they need it. It's a no-brainer.
All right, for our last section, let's pull back the curtain one final time. We know what it is, we know why it's a big deal, but how does the magic actually happen? What's the secret sauce that makes all of this work?
Well, so much of the cloud's power, its efficiency, it all comes down to one absolutely critical technology, virtualization.
So, what is virtualization? It's basically a technique that lets you take one single, really powerful physical computer and slice it up into many smaller, secure, and totally isolated virtual computers. So, multiple people can share the same piece of hardware, but to each user, it feels like they have their very own machine. Remember that resource pooling we talked about? This is how it's done. Virtualization is the engine that lets a giant data center serve thousands of different customers all at the same time.
So there you have it. The cloud is what makes our lives so convenient, it's what powers our apps, and what makes businesses run faster and smarter. But I want to leave you with one final question to think about. We rely on this thing for almost everything. But what does it really mean when our entire digital world is built on an infrastructure that, for most of us, is completely and totally invisible?